Not all Pokemon are created equal. Some stand above thanks to their exceptional stats, strong abilities, and versatile movesets. This is reflected by the usage rate of Pokemon in today's competitive scene, where strong Pokemon dominate the meta and appear on many different top teams. Today, I'll be analyzing and balancing the 3 most used Pokemon in the game currently in Regulation I: Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. Any restricted Pokemon will not be included in this video because I've already balanced them. If you want to see that video, there will be a link in the top right and in the description down below. First, let's take a look at Incineroar. Incineroar has been one of the top Pokemon in the format when it's been legal ever since it got Intimidate back in 2018. But what makes Incineroar so strong? Incineroar is basically the ultimate support Pokemon with the Intimidate ability and a bunch of different moves like Taunt, Knockoff, Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, and U-Turn. And in Generation 9, I don't know why, but he also got access to Parting Shot and Helping Hand. I guess it's the rich get richer. Incineroar can be played in many different ways. He can hold the Rocky Helmet item, be more physically bulky. He can hold the Assault Vest because he's already physically bulky with Intimidate and the defense stat, or he can be a bit more supportive and utility based with the safety goggles to be immune from Spore and Rage Powder. Simply put, Incineroar is a role compression Pokemon. A role compression is a concept that a single unit being able to perform multiple functions within a team or system very effectively, and compressing multiple roles into a single Pokemon. Incineroar has a Fire Dark typing, which makes it an incredibly good defensive typing. He is also immune to any Prankster Pokemon, so Incineroar cannot get Prankster taunted or anything. As for Incineroar's stats, for supportive Pokemon, he has almost perfect stats. He has very good HP defense and special defense, and that defense stat is very deceptive because Incineroar has 90 base defense, which reduces the Pokemon's attack by 33%. Also, Incineroar has a very high natural attack stat, making it very good with the Assault Vest with 4 offensive moves like Fake Out, Knockoff, U-Turn, and Flare Blitz. The only downside to Incineroar I see is that he has a low speed stat, but that can also be reversed because of the Trick Room. The only downside I see to Incineroar are 2 things. It does not have speed control, and it does not have screens. I think if Incineroar had either of these, it would be more broken than it already is. So with the amount of moves Incineroar can learn with its typing, Incineroar can basically fit into any team. The thing that makes Incineroar broken is something I like to call the trinity of broken Pokemon moves and doubles. Incineroar has all 3 of these. Incineroar has Intimidate, he has some type of pivoting move in U-Turn and or Parting Shot, and he has the move Fake Out. Most Pokemon in VGC only have 2 of these 3. If you look at Pokemon that fill the same shoes as Incineroar, like a Landorus Therian only has the Intimidate and a pivoting move in U-Turn. If we look at Incineroar's counterpart, Rillaboom also only has 2. Rillaboom has the pivoting move in U-Turn, and it also has Fake Out. And I think in both of these Pokemon's cases, if we give the other part of the Holy Trinity, they would be just as broken as Incineroar. So how exactly do we nerf Incineroar then? I think the easiest step is to get rid of one of the 3 Holy Trinities that Incineroar has. When we looked at Landorus Therian, it had a pivoting move in U-Turn and also Intimidate, but when we looked at Rillaboom, it had Fake Out and a pivoting move. To make Incineroar a unique Pokemon compared to Landorus Therian and Rillaboom, we're going to keep the Intimidate ability and also give it Fake Out. So with that being said, we're going to remove both Parting Shot and U-Turn out of Incineroar's learn set. The next nerf I'm going to give Incineroar is to its stats. We're going to nerf its stats a teeny tiny bit. We're going to lower Incineroar's attack by 10 points from 115 to 105 and Incineroar's defense from 90 to 85. And distribute that into special attack and speed. I don't know how the speed changes will exactly affect Incineroar because it's not necessarily played under Trick Room, but it's a good Trick Room user. I don't know if this change will backfire because 70 base speed. Urshifu Rapid Strike has also been one of the top Pokemon in the format ever since this Pokemon was legal, mainly due to Unseen Fist. And Unseen Fist is basically any physical moves can hit through Protect or Detect or any of that type of sort, like Spiky Shield or anything like that. I think Unseen Fist as an ability makes the Pokemon broken because it essentially makes Protect useless. And Protect is supposed to, well, it's supposed to protect the user for that turn. You're basically bypassing it. The only other time where Protect can be bypassed is if the opponent used Feint, which was a 40 base power normal type move, or Phantom Force, which is a 120 base power ghost type move, but it's a 2-turn move. And then there's a lot of other ones that were introduced in Generation 9 like Hyper Drill, and I think the other reason why Urshifu is broken is not only because it can hit through Protect and Detect, but both of his signature moves are guaranteed crits. This means that any boost in defense or intimidate doesn't matter because crit kind of just ignores that. And Urshifu has a very high attack stat in 130. Surging Strike's the water type one, hits 3 times so it can go through Focus Sash, which is kind of crazy. So if we look at any always critting moves in the game, there are 6 always critting moves in the game. Flower Trick on Meowscarada, Frost Breath, Storm Throw, Zippy Zap only on Pikachu on Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and Wicked Blow and Surging Strikes on Urshifu, Rapid Strike, and Single Strike. None of these moves hit 3 times aside from Surging Strikes. Also, all of these guaranteed hit moves are given to pretty bad Pokemon aside from Meowscarada, I'll be honest with you. And the last time Game Freak gave a always critting effect was in Generation 7 to Toxapex with the Merciless ability. Basically, if the Pokemon is poisoned, all of its attacks are crits. This ability could have been broken, aside from the fact that this ability has a conditional, which it had to be poison, and Toxapex has very, very atrocious attacking stats. Both 63 in attack and 53 in special attack. It cannot use Merciless to its fullest extent. And if we look at Urshifu's stats, Urshifu has great all-around stats, and it looks like the average fighting type Pokemon with high defense, high attack, middling speed, good HP, and low special attack and special defense. Urshifu also learns pretty good utility moves like both U-turn and taunt. So how exactly do I fix Urshifu? First things first, I think we have to tweak the Unseen Fist ability. I think the Unseen Fist ability should work just like how Protect worked for Dynamax moves. So if a Pokemon presses Protect on a Dynamax move, it will do 50% of the damage. So we'll go through with this change on Unseen Fist. I think its speed with 97 is quite high. It's because Urshifu likes to play a lot in Tailwind and also potentially a Choice Scarf user. So we'll drop his speed down 90 base speed and just give 7 in attack. I think having Urshifu at 90 base speed is an awkward position for a Tailwind or Choice Scarf user because you don't guarantee outspeed a 135 base speed Pokemon. And I think those are all the changes that we really need on Urshifu to make it more balanced. Let's look at Rillaboom. Rillaboom has also been one of the top Pokemon ever since it got the Grassy Surge ability, and it was incredibly strong in Generation 8, near broken because of the move Grassy Glide. Grassy Glide was a signature move for Rillaboom in Generation 8. It was a 70 base power move that only got priority under grassy terrain. And guess what? Rillaboom has Grassy Surge, so he'll always set grassy terrain. Because the base powers of priority moves stick between 40 to 60 base power to keep the game balanced, with the only exception being Extreme Speed at 80 base power. And if any other priority moves were above 40 to 60 base stat, there always had some conditional attached to it, like First Impression only working on the first turn, or Sucker Punch or Thunderclap if the opponent uses an attacking move. Not only was Grassy Glide 70 base power, but the terrain boosts grass type moves by 30% on top of stab, but terrain boosts grass type moves by 30% on top of Rillaboom's stab, effectively making the move 136.5 base power. And with Rillaboom's solid 125 base attack stat, that thing is hitting like a monster. And also in Generation 8, Farigiraf was not in the game, which is a pretty good counter to Rillaboom thanks to his Armor Tail ability, which prevents priority attack onto your side. However, in Generation 9, Game Freak nerfed Grassy Glide to 55 base power and also distributed this signature move to a bunch of other grass type Pokemon. Yet even though with this significant nerf, Rillaboom still remains on top. Rillaboom's strongest item nowadays is the Assault Vest item, making it deceptively stronger on the special defense side because it really lacks that. Like I was saying earlier, Rillaboom only has 2 of the 3 the Holy Trinity elements in U-turn and Fake Out, but not Intimidate. So how exactly do we nerf Rillaboom? I have 3 changes to Rillaboom I would like to make. Change Grassy Glide's base power to 55 base power to 50 base power. I know I'm nerfing Grassy Glide again, but I think 55 base power for a priority move is still a little too strong, especially with the Grassy Terrain boost plus stab. The grass type moves from Grassy Terrain boost will be reduced from 30% to 20%. And lastly, for Rillaboom, we will remove 10 attack and put 10 into special attack. And that's it. Let me know how I did in the comment section down below if I nerfed these 3 Pokemon correctly. I'll be uploading these every week, every Wednesday at 11 AM EST, so stick around.